Ciao Juventini of the world, my name is Giuseppe, welcome back on the channel. I hope you're all doing well and you are prepared for a long video where we will speak a lot about Mercato.
Mercato is crazy tonight. La 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 la.
Because yes, I want to speak about Juventus again. I know that in the last video I didn't speak at all because I was angry. I am still angry because I will not forget what happened in Juventus Inter, but I want to speak about my beloved Juventus, of course. And today a lot of names will be linked about on Juventus, a lot of Mercato names, even some percentages of players. How many percentage of chance do they have to remain at Juventus next season? We will go through all of these kind of things. Guys, remain on the channel, put a maximum of likes, subscribe, and also put the notification ring on. We start after the intro. Before speaking about Juventus, let me spend a few words about yesterday's Champions League, because yes, Champions League was back without Juventus, we know it, we were out versus Villarreal, but let's speak about Manchester City versus Atletico Madrid. 1-0, Foden entered from the bench and changed the game with that beautiful assist for Kevin De Bruyne. Yes, they won, the game is still open, even if Atletico Madrid, they parked the bus, even worse than some people are saying about Allegri. Yesterday, disaster game of Atletico Madrid with 0 shots on target. It is what it is. And then we had Benfica, Liverpool. Liverpool that was actually really a lot much stronger than Benfica, but at a certain moment of the game, Benfica, they tried their best to keep that qualification route open. Another Belgian player, Vertonghen, he said that everything is still open for the return game. Guys, I don't know. It is what it is, guys. If you want to remain up to date to all the news, also Champions League result, Juve result, but also the news, because today we'll go with a lot of news of OneFootball. Download OneFootball, you have the link into the description. You also have here a QR code that you can scan. Download it, it is for free for iOS. For Android, you can download it and remain up to date, because today we'll go through a lot of news of OneFootball. They reported quality information about Juve, and if you can't wait for the video, you download it, you have it up to date every single time. So do it now. We start with Tuttosport and Pogba. We know that Tuttosport is even more obsessed about Pogba that I am. Again, the big head of Paul Pogba with Juve ti aspetto. Juve, I am waiting for you. I will wait for you. Guys, before speaking about Pogba, I have a question for you, a really important one. Will you wait for Juventus? Will you wait for Juventus playing with the new shirt? Look at the edit of Vlahovic with the beautiful shirt. My son sent me that picture. He said, Beppe, Papa. It was a really beautiful shirt. Hey, I can wait, because guys, we still have 7 games to play in Serie A. We have potentially 2 games in Coppa Italia. We will have to wait, but already thinking about how to build for next season on the field with 1 game per week. So we have a lot of time to train the player and see who will be able and fit in that new system, 4-2-3-1 or 4-3-3. We will see. Allegri will make a big assessment, but also starting thinking about Mercato. There is one thing that we can't control, and we hope that it will not happen next year. It's the bad luck, because Tuttosport is saying 2022 la J come Gella. What does that mean? Come Yella, J come Yella. It is the J like bad luck, because we can say whatever we want about Juventus, about offensive play, defensive play. We can say everything about we have a midfielder, Vlahovic is scoring, it's not scoring, but if there is one thing that I believe that everyone on earth can agree on, is the fact that Juventus had so many bad luck. Not only with muscular injuries that can be a problem about training or whatever, but about traumatic injuries, the one that happens on the field with big knocks, like Chiesa, McKennie, Caio Giorgi, Locatelli, one of the last one. Guys, really bad luck, so hopefully we can wait for Juventus, but hopefully the bad luck can move somewhere else, and not at Juventus. I'm tired of that. So speaking about Pogba, that was ready to wait for Juventus. Apparently, OneFootball is reporting a news saying that the World Cup winner, Paul Pogba, is set to snub an interest from another club to join Juventus. So, what are they saying? That Paul Pogba received an offer from Paris Saint-Germain, that's the club, and that at the moment he didn't say yes, he didn't say no. Why? Because his big dream is to join again Massimiliano Allegri, to come back with his ex-coach, one that make him actually so famous and make him grow so much. He's waiting for him. He really want to understand about Juventus. Is there really the possibility? He didn't say no to Paris Saint-Germain, so maybe we will see him there, but he's leaving the door open. And then you see that in Tuttosport they're saying Il PSG bussa. Paris Saint-Germain knocking on the door. Pogba aspetta la Juve. Pogba is waiting for Juve. Il polpo spera e prende tempo per i bianconeri. E Polpo, the octopus, Paul Pogba, is hoping and waiting for Juventus. We already said that about the news of One Football that did a really amazing news in translating everything and reporting that. And then why? Because he's ideal for the new way of playing of Juventus. 4-3-3 or 4-2-3-1, he can play in both roles. And this is also something that Massimiliano Allegri is wanting. He wants to have a player that is also flexible to play different way of lineup, because you know that Massimiliano Allegri in a game is changing formation from moments to moments. So that's why he really wants him, because he also wants the experience of Paul Pogba. Guys, let me know, are you still believing in Paul Pogba? Do you think it's possible? I will tell you today, I am not sure. I am not sure that he will come. He will wait, but I believe that at the end, maybe his salary will be too big for Juve. And now we go with the other players, because Bernardeschi, I'm not sure if we will see him again next season at Juventus. One Football is saying a renewal at Juventus seems difficult for Federico Bernardeschi amidst Premier League interest. There are some interest for Bernardeschi from the Premier League. We know that Premier League, they are interested in everyone because they have the money. It is what it is. But Juventus, they didn't meet Federico Bernardeschi at the moment, and maybe there will not even be a meeting. Maybe they will go until the end of his contract, and I'm speaking about June, and then saying goodbye to Federico Bernardeschi. It is what it is, guys. Moisken, not better for him, because his future, it seems more complicated than ever. Juventus and Massimiliano Allegri, they are not really believing in the player. Even in moment of really difficulty, Massimiliano Allegri never really put his a bit on Moisken. He never considered him a starter. Juventus will try to speak with Everton and with Paris Saint-Germain, because Paris Saint-Germain wants to buy him after selling Mauro Icardi and maybe going for Moisken. Guys, let me know also about Moisken, and here we have the percentages of the different players for the future. Arthur, Gazzetta dello Sport, is saying 60% of the chances that he will remain at Juve, 40% out. For Bernardeschi, only 20% of the chances to remain at Juve. Mattia De Sciglio, more in than out, with 70% that we have the chance to see him next season. Moisken, it's a 50-50, and the same percentages apply to Morata with a 50-50, and then Luca Pellegrini with 30% in, 70% out. The same story for Pellegrini, that grew this season, and Allegri admitted it's still not enough to start at Juventus, to be a starter and the successor of Alexandro. What about Rabiot? Because Rabiot, you didn't see him in this percentage of Gazzetta dello Sport. It is because One Football is saying reportedly changed their stance on Rabiot's future. There can be a last-minute change of mind of Juventus in Rabiot's future. If everyone was speaking that he was on top of the list to be sold next season, apparently Juventus, after the beautiful performance of Inter, they're thinking, why not extending the contract of Rabiot, putting actually his salary a lot lower, because we know that one of the problems of Adrien Rabiot at Juventus was the salary that was out of proportion because we took him for free. Would you agree on that? Longer contract for Rabiot and then lower salary. I will tell you the truth. For me, no. For me, no. Why? Because is there since a few years, and every year it is the same story. We have to wait for March or April to see the good and the strong Rabiot. It's a bit late. We need the Rabiot that is really great since from August on. We continue with the other news with Corriere dello Sport that made me laugh this morning, because apparently il Napoli su Zaniolo. Napoli is on Zaniolo. Is that funny? Not at all. It's not really funny. But what is really funny is the next news from Corriere dello Sport, who is saying that apparently apparently Napoli is interested on Nicolo Zaniolo to replace Insigne that will leave to Toronto. What made me love is the value of the player, that apparently for Napoli is valued for 50 million. So yesterday we were speaking about Zaniolo to Juve for a value of 70 or 80 million. Crazy, out of proportion for a 22 years old player. Not old, absolutely not, but with a lot of injuries and so on. And Roma is asking 70, 80 million for Juve, and then you have Napoli comes and it's 50 million. Strange, really strange football.
Mercato is crazy tonight. La 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 la.
We continue with the good news, because you know that Mourinho is not my favorite trainer ever. You know that I don't like him because also of his past at Inter. But yesterday he said something that makes me really happy. Apparently Mourinho, he wants to keep Brian Cristante at Roma, and that's a good news. Why? Because Juventus was linked with Brian Cristante in the last days. I don't want Brian Cristante at Juve. So good news, grande Mourinho. You won 1 point today with me. What about the defense? Rudiger still on top of the priority of Juventus for next Mercato. In defense, we know that this player here, Giorgio Chiellini, will probably leave Juventus at the end of the season. He will not extend his contract 1 more year because Italy will not go to the World Cup. So maybe Rudiger is still there, but there is a but. The fierce competition of Barcelona and so on. Still Chelsea negotiating with him, but also his salary. Big salary that is requesting, and that's maybe too much, but that's why Juventus is still on players like Akanji, like Milenkovic from Fiorentina, and Bremer. Imagine Milenkovic again, another player from Fiorentina at Juventus. Juventus, because we didn't speak about it yet in that video, but apparently they are monitoring the situation of Di Maria. Di Maria that will be out of contract at the end of the season. 34 years for a really strong player, a really good player that I like, that a lot of people like, because he's strong, he's still running a lot. Is he the perfect replacement of Dybala? I don't think so. I think that we have to go away from that news of Di Maria. With all the respect for Di Maria, that is really a great player. But 34 years old at the end of his career, I prefer not, guys. I prefer not. Juventus, they are linked with another player, and probably you will be super excited and super happy. They are linked with Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. You know, we started with the news of Pogba waiting for Juve. Apparently, the contacts with the agent of Sergej Milinkovic-Savic started again in the last few days. Matej Kesman, the agent of Milinkovic-Savic, restarted and actually intensified the contact with Juventus in these last days. This confirms the interest of Juve in the player, reported by Nicolo Balice. Crazy news. Imagine. But don't count too much on it, because we know how much Lotito hates Juventus. Another player that is linked to Juve is Timo Werner. Why? Because yesterday there was the agent of Timo Werner, but also from Toni Kroos and from Julian Weigl, that was in La Continassa, that was in the offices of Juventus, speaking with Juve. About what? No idea. But of course they are looking at now the papers like OneFootball and so on. They're reporting some names of the agents linked to Juve. Can Timo Werner be a player for Juventus for next season? Let me know. I prefer Julian Weigl, to be honest. Different position, but still I prefer Weigl than Timo Werner. Another player that is plan A for Juventus. I told you already, plan A. They are speaking about Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. About Pogba, another plan A reported by Dario Pellegrini is De Jong. De Jong, plan A of Juventus. Things needs to be resolved at Barcelona, because the Dutch player didn't like actually that Barcelona already signed Kessié, because he's saying I will be probably out of project. I don't like that news. And then Juventus is going all in for the player, for the Dutch player. Gazzetta dello Sport is speaking about Lukaku. Stella chiama Stella. The stars are calling the star. know what star, it is what it is. Why am I speaking about that? Because I found a really cringe paper of Gazzetta dello Sport where Lukaku is there in a really strange position with a fake hand, really strange Photoshop from Gazzetta dello Sport calling Inter. Let's see if it will come back, I don't care. And then we have Il Piano di Marotta, because Marotta not only wants Lukaku back at Inter, but also Dybala, and not selling Lautaro because they want to sell a lot of other players. They want to sell De Vrij, they want to sell Vidal, Vecino, Perisic, Andanovic, Handanovic, all these players, and they want to have a stellar front with Lukaku, Dybala, and Lautaro. Let me know, guys, speaking about Inter, if you think that these three players can be compatible, if they can play together. According to me, no, but let's see. And then we finish with a really nice new romantic news about Carlos Tevez at La Continassa. Not only was at the stadium to see Juve Inter, and it was really nice to see a number 10 back at Juve. That was beautiful. But also yesterday he went, like one football is saying, watching the Primavera yesterday. Unfortunately they lost 2-1 versus Verona, but he was there with the management and he was watching the game. He wants to be a coach in the future. He spoke with a lot of people in La Continassa with a lot of hugs, and one of them is the one with Massimiliano Allegri. Who knows, maybe Tevez in the staff for next year at Juventus to give back a bit of that grinta to certain players. Let's see what will happen. Guys, it was a long video with a lot of Mercato news. I hope you enjoyed it. Let's go. Grande forza Juve.